Welcome to another episode, everyone. Isaiah Martin eviscerates a Maga Airhead. Yes, she is indeed an airhead. She tries to say that Barack Obama is the most divisive president in the history of America. Well, this, of course, is a dog whistle. These Republican MAGA maggots say this all of the time. This is the same as saying, hey, look at me, I am a racist, whenever they say that they are something about woke or DEI or that Obama is divisive. What they are trying to say is that I am a racist. This is what they mean. How is Barack Obama the most divisive president in history when we have Donald Trump tweeting out photos of President Biden tied up, when he's threatening the lives of Democrats, when he's dividing the entire nation based on race, when he himself is a profound racist, a proven racist himself, Donald J. Trump. And she says that President Obama is the most divisive president. And when confronted with brutal facts, she cannot bag any of it up. And per normal, Abby Phillips bails her out and lets her escape somewhat, but Isaiah Martin destroys her.
Remarks from him, and I'll play some a little bit later from Michelle Obama. What did you make of it?
You know, I really thought it was great that he didn't mention Trump's name one time. You know, he didn't mention him one time, and I think that, frankly, America got to get a chance to remember what it was like to have a president that could really give speeches that united us as a country. And I think what's really interesting is that, you know, Trump spent...
Look at her. That's her right there. That's the airhead. Look at her. She's chomping at the bit already. She's ready to get on. That's Isaiah Martin, of course. She's ready to get on him right now. As soon as he said, you know, America is reminded of a president that actually knows how to speak and gives coherent speeches. Look at this wry, sinister looking smile she has on her face. Like, I'm about to eat this, you know what up. But she's not. She's about to get ate up per normal.
Decades criticizing Barack Obama on literally everything that he could do. And then ultimately, he got a chance to see on the day that, you know, Obama opened up his presidential center, Trump got to negotiate a pretty bad deal. And I think that it's really just a reflection of why it's important to talk about history. I think a lot of people are going to be able to learn about the JCPOA. And as this MOU comes into fruition, they'll be able to see exactly the contrast there.
I do want to play this from Michelle Obama because she alludes to these attacks on her husband from people like Trump, for example. Here's what she said.
The claims that a U.S. senator and constitutional law expert wasn't qualified for the job. The lies about your birthright, your faith, your patriotism, the outrage when you stated the biological fact that if you'd had a son, that he too would be black. Yet, you were unflappable at every turn, always focused, always calm, always looking at the long view.
And what she's not saying there is that's
true. Barack Obama, he's a much better man than myself. He's much more self-possessed. He has incredible self-control. He was being attacked every which way from start to finish when he started his campaign in 2007. From that moment on, he was brutally attacked and continues to be brutally attacked. The current president is posting pictures of the Obamas in ape suits. They continue to be attacked. Michelle Obama with claims of her being a man. And the list goes on and on and on. They despise these individuals. And the only thing that President Obama divided was the racists from the non-racists. He exposed America and America's racism for those who are. That's all. He didn't divide anything. Donald Trump is the most divisive president that this White House has ever seen. It's not even close.
is a contrast with the guy in the White House right now.
You know, the words we didn't hear from these remarks today: sucker, loser, piggy, stupid, fake news, idiot. It's a permission structure when a president uses those terms for our children to hear it and our children to want to use those terms as well. It's modeling the worst of rhetoric and the worst of behavior. President Obama, First Lady Obama, didn't invoke the name calling that has gotten in a cancerous way into our political bloodstream and makes us not want to expose our children to the highest people in power.
And Mark, I saw you nodding. I mean, do you agree with that?
I do. I have, as I think you know, tremendous respect for President Obama. I had the privilege of actually being in Grant Park on election night with the Obamas and the Bidens, watching the results of that campaign. I'll never forget that moment. And I think what this was really about, I don't think this would have been the place for that kind of political rhetoric. This was not a political event. This is the dedication of the presidential library. And he did it and gave that speech with the class and grace that is consistent with Barack Obama. I might not have agreed with all of his policies, but when it comes to being someone that was, I think, a president that crossed party lines, and I think we'll see later on remains very highly popular from people that both lean right and left. I think what we saw today was consistent.
Okay.
And
There's a little bit of revisionist history. Yeah, he's incredibly eloquent. He's a very skilled orator. He's very articulate. I'll give him all of that. But he was also a very divisive figure.
How?
And can I talk? Can I talk? Thank you.
This is a good one.
Look, we saw it was on full display. They open it up with perhaps the most performative woke thing you can do, a land acknowledgement. Really? You're going to say this is on stolen land? If you think it's on stolen land, then give it back.
This is all you. I mean, this is like Tan Suit 2.0.
Don't build an $850 million library on it. The other thing is, I like the idea that united Americans, but I don't.
No, you give it back. It is on stolen land. Airhead, all of this land is stolen. All of it. None of it belongs to you. None of it belongs to Europeans. Absolutely zero. Christopher Columbus did not discover America. There were already millions of people here when he got here. This is not your land. You migrated from Europe and took the land through murder and rape and lynchings. You give the land back to its rightful owners. It's what you need to do. And whenever you say words like woke, as I said, this is just a dog whistle. This is her way of displaying and exhibiting to the W supremacist forces in the country that she is one of them and that she is with them. He is the most divisive president. How? Not even close. Donald Trump curses everyone, disrespects everyone, denigrates and disparages, calls people the worst names imaginable, calls them pigs, cowards, disrespected the military and the veterans, and the people who gave their lives for this country. He doesn't care who it is. He's a PDF file, a grapist, a sick, sinister, criminalistic individual who has worked on dividing the entire country from day one. And he has nothing but individuals covering for him. And you say that Barack Obama is the most, this man was too damn nice for his own good. He's too classy for his own good. He should have been responding to some of these people and some of these attacks. I would have been. No way I would have been able to hold my tongue. As I said, he's a much bigger and better man than myself. No way. The gloves would have been off because he endured so much and continues to, and still to this day refuses to attack anyone. He didn't even say Trump's name during the speech. He wouldn't even say his name. I don't know how he's able to do it. It's unbelievable. A true testament to his will and his character and his class. I guess I'm not one of them because there's no way. This woman is out of her rockers. Sick of these people. You know, they try to tell you, well, if you don't like it, go back. Go back to where you came from. No, you go back to where you came from. This is not your country. You migrated over here like everyone else, for one. For two, don't tell me to go back. I was over there, minding my own business in my country. That wasn't good enough for you. You came over there and kidnapped me. And brought me over here. Don't tell me now to go back. No, take me back over there. You brought me over here. You gave me a ride over here. Give me a ride back. What are you talking about? Go back if you don't like it. No, you go back to where you came from.
I don't think most conservatives.
But how is he the
conservatives
most
who were
divisive
targeted by the
president,
IRS, nuns who were told they had to pay for abortions and contraceptives. He was
But how
very
is he the
divisive
most
with
Can I
the
just
actual
say, when we're
president.
talking about things that using federal government, first of all, Obama did not target the federal government for his opponents. That is something that Trump
Okay,
is doing.
well, I think
Hold on. I let you talk.
Christians
He also did not do that. What I will say, one of the bigger contrasts, I think, that has not been mentioned, I think, over the coverage is you have to remember that when Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump, it was Barack Obama who called Hillary Clinton and told her, you need to concede. And he understood that there needed to be a peaceful transfer of power, and he told her that. Then what happened? He welcomed the Trumps to the House, to the White House. He ensured that they had what they needed in order to have a peaceful transition. Take that, and then take January 6th. And look at that contrast.
What I'm really
Hold on. I'm not done. But listen to that contrast. Then there is also Barack Obama has done a lot to raise the next generation of leaders, while you have Donald Trump, who is just saying, I anoint people.
Well, let me let Lydia respond to that, because I hear you saying, first of all, you're accusing Obama of personally doing something that
his administration. His administration.
Well, we know that what you're talking about at the IRS was the responsibility of individuals within the IRS who were held responsible for that. That had nothing to do with Obama.
Right.
And nobody has provided proof that came from the White House or from the president's office. The second thing that you mentioned, which is basically abortion policy, I take it that is your view of how that policy should operate in this country. But you have to understand that another half of the country believes the opposite of what you believe.
Right.
So when you talk about divisiveness, Barack Obama was smeared as not being a legitimate president because Trump was lying that he was not a native-born American citizen. And then he welcomed that same man into the White House. Right. Their wives sat down and had tea. So what else?
I think Obama is incredibly
question.
I think he's incredibly
It's a legitimate
classy.
question. What else? Why is Obama considered by a lot of conservatives, and maybe you're one of them, to be so incredibly divisive? Is it because he told people he was black?
Right.
No, I think he's incredibly classy.
That's exactly what it is. That's what that means. Divisive, substitute that word for black. When they say that Obama was a divisive president, what they mean is that he was a black president. So he polarized the country. He brought out the hatred in the country. And it continues to rear its ugly head today, though he left office 10 years ago. That's what it means. He was divisive. She can explain how he is divisive. Never can. Trying to have a decent conversation, a nice conversation, can never have it with these airheads, these MAGA maggots. They have to invoke some sort of racism one way or another. Barack Obama's the most divisive president. How so? You can't explain. We can explain how Trump is extremely divisive and how he's a criminal. That's another story. And how he's a racist. How he told the Proud Boys to stand by, stand ready. An open racist. And she's calling Barack Obama, who did everything in his power to unite the country. She's calling, and I don't even like Obama's policies. I don't like any of them. But he did. I can't dispute his sincerity. He tried to unite the country. Divisive, he was under extreme attack, heavy attacks, continues to be. And he never tried to divide the country in spite of that. He never asked a particular group to be on his side or have his back. It makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense. This is just their playbook. All of the right-wing extremists, all of these racist maggots, she's one of them. I don't give a damn what she say. I don't give a damn what you say. She's one of them. Most of you are. This is just their dog whistle. This is their way of gaslighting. This is their way of blaming Obama and Biden for everything. When you have all of the hatred in the White House right now, the hatred that exudes from Donald Trump, it emanates from that man. You're talking about someone else, the most calm and peaceful, classy president this sick country has ever seen. And you say that he's the most divisive. No. Are you serious? With Donald Trump in office, you have the unmitigated gall to fix your mouth to say that Barack Obama was the most divisive president. And as we're witnessing the distorted deeds of Donald Trump in real time, you're sick.
Very eloquent speaker. I think there's a lot of things to credit him for.
Lydia,
I'm saying he's
a very eloquent speaker. He's very articulate. This is also racist. This is also disrespect. Like, she's surprised that a black man can be intelligent or articulate. You could not have run the country. You're a sellout. You're a coward. That's what you are, you MAGA airhead, you coward. You're sitting here covering and hovering over Donald Trump. You're protecting a rapist. I have no respect for anyone who protects Donald Trump, who doesn't have the wherewithal to stand up to him and his misdeeds, but instead covers for him. You're a bunch of cowards.
policies. You know, and I will credit him for this as well. He said that he thinks America is great today. I think he said the U.S. is an undeniable force for good in the world. And I was glad to hear him say that, because when he was in office, he would go on these sort of tours essentially apologizing for America. And I look at the Democratic Party today, 36% of whom are not proud.
Last year, Donald Trump went to the Middle East, and he said that America's past policies of regime change in that region had been a failure, and that it was that we were trying to basically overtake these great societies. He was literally what you guys accuse Obama of doing. Trump went to the Middle East and said that we've been trying to change your societies and we have failed, and we've been trying to export our way of doing things on you. He said that last year.
Right.
So I am not understanding this. Like, well, or at least I want to see more evidence.
She's stumped. She can't say anything. Sit there with that dumbass smile on her face. Same thing you're accusing Obama of. They just hit you with the facts that Donald Trump was doing this. He went to the Middle East last year apologizing for America and America's policies and for murdering the whole world. An apologist. And then she has nothing to say. You're accusing Barack Obama of being divisive when we know that Donald Trump is divisive, but you have nothing to say. Because they're just a bunch of stooges. They have the same talking points, and they can't back any of it up. They can never tell you how the man was divisive.
I would like to see more evidence. That's all I would like to see.
In that respect, circumstances changed a bit, right? Iran advanced their nuclear program much more rapidly than expected. There were changes in
that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking what Trump was talking about was the U.S. military involvement in the Middle East, Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and beyond. It was a very broad statement. She just said Obama was apologizing for the United States around the world. Where's the evidence? That's all I'm asking.
Well, so I think we're missing the point of what President Obama was trying to say during the speech. This was not an anti-Trump speech. This was not, let's get back at him. This was, we need to come back together as a nation. We shouldn't have states opting out of the 250th anniversary celebration in D.C. as a political statement. That I heard that this morning. It was absolutely heartbreaking news to hear that that's even being considered. And I don't think that Barack Obama is terribly happy with the state of his own party right now.
Yeah.
It looks very different than it did when he was in the Oval Office. It's much more polarized. It's been had quite a lot of woke and other influences that I don't think that Barack Obama was a woke president. That wasn't even a thing when he was.
But look, here's the thing. I get that you might get it, but I'm really focused on this. When you say that President Obama is one of the most divisive presidents in history, that's something that you guys can never back up. You never can bring up any substance. It's a talking point that you guys always say. So to Abby's point, what specifically are you referring to when you say he's one of the most divisive presidents in history?
He did not invite Milli Vanilli to the library party today, or Vanilla Ice, or CNC Music Factory. That's a difference from the American 250.
Right.
That
Didn't
is a
have
big
that on
difference
my
from the
bingo
American
card
250.
for sure.
That is very true. Next for us, a new book.
See? Didn't get a chance to answer. Abby bails her out. Laura Coates lets these people have it. She does not bail some of these guests out. She will expose them. Shout out to Abby Phillips and CNN. Shout out to Isaiah Martin. And there's other individuals sitting to Isaiah Martin's right is also talking about never had a woke president. These individuals love using certain vernacular. They hate us so much, but love, that's just a dog whistle. That's just, I don't care that he said he was at the election, that he likes Obama. They're all racist. I don't trust none of them. You better not either. That's it. There you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Isaiah Martin couldn't get an answer as to how Barack Obama is the most divisive president in the history of the United States. We couldn't get an answer. We will never get an answer on that. It's just a talking point and a dog whistle. Stay safe and power to the people.